waving a gun around and it wasn't in a protection type of mode. But you should not have the legal right to be toting around on Instagram like you trying to be some type of street nigga. All right, what up, what up? Welcome to the All Grind Sports Show where we are politically incorrect. I go by the name of JC, and this is the episode. Damn, I ain't got Rel in them to remind me today. But it's episode about, I think, 47, actually. Episode 47.
47.
That we finna have in the books. It's the OG edition. We was already, you know what I'm saying, getting into our old stories and spit, going down memory lane, VCRs and DVDs and whatnot. But yeah, man, we ready to roll. Let me go ahead and introduce one of our brand new guests that decided to pull up, man. We appreciate him. My guy, Rico Martin. Thanks for
Hey,
no doubt, man.
Clap it up for that, man. It's been a minute since we had a brand new guest. Appreciate
you. Glad to be here, man. I go by the Big Fame, man. Great time in the lifestyle that I live, man. I go by the name Fame, man. So glad to be here on the show, man.
Got you. Hey, real quick, can you run down the squads for us, man? We see one of them in the back, man. Can you run down the list for us real quick so we know what we're dealing with?
Oh, Niner gang, man. You know what it is with us, man.
Okay, what's the NBA?
Everything else, he good. He good. Everything else.
Oh, he good on everything. That's it.
Hey, Niner gang, man. No, man. I'm a Trojan in college football, Lakers in NBA. College hoops, man. College hoops is Euclid.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? All Cali, baby. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
If any of them go down, I'm going with the B team in Cali's, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, you forgot about these guys.
Hey, I can't forget about them. I'm coming around the baseball, man, around the bases. The Doyers, man. I fuck with the Doyers heavy, man.
Got you. And then we got one of our fan favorites, my OG mentor, Daryl Dunning, a.k.a. the Big Ragu. Appreciate
up,
you, brother.
Good looking, man. Thanks for having me. Hey, I told you he was all good except for that Niner shit. That's what I meant. So he Dodgers, Lakers, and Trojans, that's all good. But he just got himself mixed up with them dudes right there
up in the Bay.
Yeah.
I just came from down there too, man. I'm fresh back in LA just this morning.
They did a lot of winning when we was young guys, man. So
hey, man, one thing about me, man, you notice all the teams, they got a history, man. And these Niners, man, I would have been a Cowboy, right? But
oh boy.
Man, it's the story of so many of us, I'm telling you, bro.
Granny in the household of the Martins, man. She was the Niner. So I went with the one who was cooking the food in the joint.
I heard that.
Favorite.
The hell out of that.
Pops did a little stint with the Cowboys. He had a cup of coffee, and the whole house was cowboyed out. Granny was the only one in there with the red Niners shirt on. So I was like, she's going back and forth to the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm fucking with the Niners.
That's a great story.
Good luck with that, brother.
No doubt.
Yeah, man, we're gonna get we're gonna get started, man, and talk about some hoops first and then get into, a few of these signings that's been going on. But we'll start with the elephant in the room, man, with the MORANT situation, which seems like it's pretty much been brewing like the last couple of years now. As far as it being like a topic of conversation, and it's just been heating up, and it then finally, blew up, in front of everybody's face now to where it's like no more avoiding it. So if you haven't seen, I guess like the straw for the league was he was on Instagram Live the other day waving around the gun when he was at a nightclub in Denver, and now he's been suspended. It started off as 2 games, but it seems like it's indefinitely now. And apparently what's being reported is it could even be a lot worse than him being back before playoffs because he might have had it while he was on the plane on his way to Denver. So in that case, he could be eligible as up to like 50 plus games. So, we'll see how that plays out, but that definitely shakes the whole West up, and more importantly, it could shake his life up. So I'll go ahead and let y'all give y'all takes on the whole situation. Where y'all
all right, please let me just now. He was waving a gun around on the Instagram post, or he just flashed a gun, or what? How did that part go?
It probably was literally like maybe all of 2 seconds. He was in the nightclub. They was all in the room. They, turned up, had the NBA YoungBoy banging or whatever they was playing, and he waved the gun like this, and then the camera turned while he was
so these young guys is out here getting robbed. A lot of people in the street, they showing it on the news. I know in the city of Los Angeles, people was out here getting robbed. And I would just like to say in a general sense, like a general statement, that everybody in the United States, all right, and you gonna understand what I'm saying, everybody is fine with the gun rights and the Second Amendment, and everybody is for citizens having a gun. Like, obviously, this dude is a employed, well-to-do individual, man. He's a rich man, okay? So I'm always hearing posts about, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, and if there's some type of situation where somebody got robbed, it'd be like, oh yeah, if that guy would have had a gun on him, then we would have seen what that bad guy would have done. Well, see, MORANT's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. He's a rich individual that, okay, the shit he did is a little, really what it is young dude. It's young dude stuff, right? And you just holler at him like, hey man, you can't be doing that. Really, this is all that needs is, hey, you can't really be doing that like that. But you having your blower on you, I mean, I guess in general, my question is, why is everybody always so upset when it's a brother with a gun? But you got a white guy that can walk up to the police with the AR strapped on his chest and it's fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it's the reason why the gun laws in California are some of the strictest in the country. I'm not even gonna ask y'all, do you know why? I'm gonna tell you why. And it was the most partisan bill ever signed. I mean, the Republicans and the Democrats signed this bill immediately. And it was Ronald Reagan, California. He was the governor. And that was because the Black Panthers used to be out in the streets with their guns, bro. Like it's allowed, like the law allows. But once they start seeing that, they changed the laws in California. California used to be just like them country places, bro. You could walk around with your blower. The Panthers up in Oakland walking around with their blowers made them change that, bro. So it has always had this little undercurrent of, the Second Amendment is for everybody but the black dudes, man. That's my opinion. That's what I'm saying. And Ja did some young stuff. He needs to, be checked on his behavior. But all this messing with the man check and all that, just because he had his protection on him, I think it's excessive. And I think it has undercurrents.
Yeah, hey, D, I totally agree with you, bro. You couldn't have said it best, man. Taking it back a little bit and then bringing it back up to current situations. I mean, when you look at the scenarios, they're going to pick the one that's hot. He made a statement early in the season. He's not worried about nobody in the West as far as who. What you're supposed to is competitive. It's called compete.
Yeah.
You got to compete. You got to start oil boiling from them other G's in the league that's older than you. You want to rattle some cages, right? Because you feel you're a guy and you can make that work. Taking it back like you did, D. You know, you had Gilbert Arenas, you had Scotty, you had a few guys got caught with that blower. You know, now, like you said, if you display laws and you put them in effect, you know, you can't just weed out the ones. You know, you weeding out the ones in a scenario of, yes, it's easy for us to say it's all about us being blacks. You don't want us to get the big check. You don't want to see these guys grow. Yeah, and it's easy, like you said. It's easy to say that cat got the gun and oh, he shouldn't have did this. Dude, I've been hit 8 times, total twice, 2 different occasions. One with the blower and one without the blower.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is the young brother protecting himself. No, he should be brandishing it in the club and doing what he did, but he did that. So you tap that for that. You don't go to dictatorship. Dictatorship is to say 2 games and now you playing with the kid and you take the whole joint away. Because now we can go to other things where other guys play that was just not no brother. So yeah, I feel you guys, man. That's a good top point to be made. You know, like, come on now. We gonna call the rules the rules. They got to apply for everybody.
I just feel like in general, in the country, man, and in the media, you know, when it comes to that Second Amendment, brother, it's like they not talking about us. They got them. The Second Amendment is for us, not for us.
No question.
You got that?
I like what you did there.
Yeah. The Second Amendment is it's about us, but it ain't for us. You understand?
No.
That's what they keeping them things for. That's why it's cool for them to have them.
But it ain't cool for us to get them.
That's what it seemed like to me. That's what it seemed like to me.
It only applies to one.
That's why they so scared of the gangbangers and want to make them out to be so bad because they know them the ones with that thing.
Absolutely. And they not scared of you. They gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they want all us regular folks, you know, like MORANT, to walk around here unarmed. So it could be like, oh, it was such a tragedy that he got his chain took and you know they shot him and messed up his career. Now he can't even play ball no more or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a tragedy. But if the white boy, I mean, and I don't even want to be all like that. I'm just saying, when I say white guy, I'm thinking about Kyle Rittenhouse in particular. This guy, I saw a video of him walking up to the police with an AR on his chest. And here we go. We're sitting here talking about MORANT in a nightclub. Like, you know what I mean? Doing a gun like this real quick. So that's where I'm coming from, man. It's just a difference. It's not for us. It's for us.
Well, it's several layers to that. Like, for one, with Rittenhouse, and as much as I disagree with what he did and everything that's transpired after, and I do think he should be sitting in jail right now, 1,000%. He's not representing $1 billion brand. So obviously I think that's going to be a differential in that right there. Right. And for two, with Ja, I like super appreciate you for educating me right now on the gun laws of California, because I have always wondered why we were so much more straight than a lot of the other states, particularly like in the South. But as far as Ja specifically, not in a general sense, but Ja specifically, for one, this ain't his first time having a instance of something that was reported of him, either him or somebody in his vicinity waving a gun around, and it wasn't in a protection type of mode. Like, I agree, he should have it with him just in case something happens. He should have that legal right, but you should not have the legal right to be toting around on Instagram like you trying to be some type of street nigga. That's not what that's for. I have heat. I ain't never even once even thought about posting it online or flossing it online or flossing it to anybody. I have it for my protection of whenever it's in need of use for me to have. That's it. That's all. I'm not trying to use it to try to get into a certain life or act like I'm certain or not, or try to, you know what I'm saying, strong arm nobody when I have a disagreement, which is things that Ja has at minimum, we've seen him threaten people with. And I think that's where the problem comes in with that. And let's say, even if it was on the type of time that, you know, you guys are referring to, which I agree with, for everything that Ja has at stake, is that really the hill for him to die on?
Not at all. He shouldn't even be, like you said, like, you know, and I want to reiterate that, you know, I gave you the one version to come back with the other one. Is no way in common sense he should be doing that. But when you look at today's youngsters, the home is kind of broken. You know, the strength-wise, the morals, the factors of listening to your parents, respecting your parents. Because now, if you're doing that, you're not respecting your parents. You know what I'm saying? And understanding that the man, you know, don't know that that's what you do when you put yourself in those situations. You not only hurt you, you make your parents look bad. You see what I'm saying?
Check this out, man. You know, I'm acknowledging that he's on some wrong shit. You know, he shouldn't be on Instagram flaunting a gun and not only that, going back to the other stuff that I heard about that he's done that I'm not fully privy to, like exactly what it was. I just heard little bits and pieces about him, you know, doing this before, some at a pickup game at his own house or whatever. He had one, and some of
it was on the NBA court.
Sounded a little extra out, but man, all I'm saying, you know, you talk to the young dude and be like, hey, you can't keep doing that young guy stuff. But at the same time, these dudes is walking with the headphones on and what they pumping into their ears. You hear me? They pumping that
type of spit, yeah. That
state-sponsored black people destruction. That's what I call rap music. Exactly. State-sponsored black people destruction music. No, there's no other genre or no other people that they allow to make music like that and send out to the youth of said community or you know, let's just say, man, race of people. So, you know, you got on one hand Adam Silver's folks are profiting off of the murder music that Ja is listening to. But then when the murder music actually penetrates Ja and has him on some acting like the music, now Adam Silver has a problem with him. But his boys, so you know, man.
Real quick, can you elaborate on that part though? Like when you say his boys, who are you referring to?
Adam Silver is Jewish.
Got you. That's it. All right.
Do I need to say?
That's enough said. Yeah.
Okay. So you know, there's that. It's a whole hypocritical thing, bro. Like they can come back and try to blame the young bros for everything, but after every corner you turn, they sitting back making money off of it, though, bro. Even to the point of whoever manufactured that gun is somebody European. I'm sure. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So sure. It's just, man, it's just crazy to me, bro. How all the scenarios work out against us. Everything is criminalized. We made to seem all bad, but you know, this kid ain't nobody talking. Like you said, my boy, young boy never broke again. Well, he ignorant. You know he ain't talking no sensible music. So that's what's bumping when he's showing the gun. But ain't nobody talking about, you know, what label NBA YoungBoy signed to, and who he getting checks from, and who getting money with him. But you want to talk about Ja for perhaps distributing or demonstrating some behavior in those said rap songs that, this one group of folks is profiting off of. So,
but Ragu again, is that the hill for him to die on, or should he just get his paper and live to fight another day?
I want to touch on that.
Go ahead, Frank.
I've been hearing that. They've been running a little clip or reel, as they say, about Baby saying, just get the paper. Just get the paper. You get the paper with no dignity. You get the paper with no knowledge. You get the paper with no heart, as we say from these streets, right? You're gonna do foolish. You're gonna do shit that don't make sense. And back to what I said earlier about common sense. It's mind over matter. You got to make the right decisions. Everybody's not cut from certain cloths, so everybody can't be put in the same bottle, so to say. You got to understand people for who they are and what upbringing they are. And I run a based on us talking about Ja and emotions. That was an emotional act. You're gonna break it down, right? That was an emotional act. Where do emotions come from?
Females.
Our women, right? We're raised by who? Our women. We come from a woman, right? So when the fathers are presently there, some there and not there. But majority of
Ja's parents was there though. He had the 2-parent household.
So he's there. His dad is there.
Here's what I'm saying. Percentage-wise, most of them are not there, right?
Yeah. I mean, we have an issue with that.
Watch this. You got a percentage that are there, but not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Now you got a percentage. You got a percentage. Let me touch it all, so nobody misunderstands it. You got a percentage that are there, So the young man or the young lady turns out with a balance. Not to say she's not gonna go do anything wrong, or he's not gonna go do anything wrong with 2 parents in the household. Not taking that from that, but to understand that point, you feel me? It's common sense, and it goes back to what do you stand for? Because you got a bunch of good athletes that come through there and don't do none of that and don't get that notoriety that Ja got. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what I 100%
they got
do not like.
Raised by granny, or they was raised by auntie. So it's just not about your parents and your upbringing. It's about the common sense and the values of what you learn and you put in that toolbox that you grow through life saying the elementary, middle school, junior high, common sense. Cause 3 seconds will change your life. You can go do 20 years, you can go do life, or you can go do 6 years. Regardless of the fact of the matter is you made a mistake. You make a mistake. Don't dictate me. You suspended me for 2 games. Let my 2 games be that and that. I ain't got arrested for nothing. I'm not in trouble for nothing. Well, I shouldn't have did that. So you suspended me for 2 games because I'm an NBA role model. I get that. But don't come in here now trying to, like he said, Adam Sandler trying to dictate my life now. Taking my kids. I mean, definitely, that's playing with me as a black man. And us as a whole culture, we got to start standing up for something because we fall for anything. And we get out the way so the heat don't come to us. But the mudslide, when it slide, you black at the end of the day, you're going to slide too.
So I hear you, bro. I hear you on that. And I want to say that I 1000% do not condone poserism. Monks being posers. They want to, when they was young, they was good boys. And then they get up and get some money where they can buy some influence and some weapons, and then they want to start acting tough. So yeah, I cannot stand that dude right there. Now, but with that said, that rap music, man, I can't give them no free pass on the people that's profiting off that rap music. So, if you say, oh, well, it's just music, they should know the difference. Well, okay. Well, let's stop doing that then for a while, and you know, allowing that to be the standard to get on or whatever. Let's stop that for a while. Start making some positive music and let them hear that. You know what I'm saying? Since it's only music, it doesn't matter. That means we're still gonna be doing the same dumb shit that we've been doing, right? No matter if we hear positive music or not. So let's try that and see if, you know, if anything changes around. But they won't do it because it's working twofold for them. You know, we getting locked up and out here killing each other, and they get money.
They didn't have rap music back then, and they committed the same crimes we committed. It wasn't as violent. It wasn't the same kind of things that we going through, because things have changed with the dope game and everything. So it made the guns and the gangbang start blockbustering.
I disagree, man. I don't feel like it was the same.
But look what you're saying, though. Look, I'm saying this. You're saying those who are profiting from that rap music, right?
Uh-huh.
Now watch this. You saying oh, it's just rap music, and they should, you know, understand that it's just music. But that's about, hey, just because somebody puts something up or post something about your culture, it's just a post. It's just that. Don't get all bent out of shape and start hollering, this is Semitic this and this is Semitic that, or you shouldn't be able to say this and you can't say that because you feelings. You know what I'm saying? So now you push the young boy in a position to do something uncommonly, like you say, listening to the rap music. And he chose to act as a young kid, which he is.
So look at that. Look what kind of box they got us in. We got the one dude who's a thinker and, you know, posted, you know, basically just retweeted or liked something that he, you know, independently took some interest in. Okay. He gets suspended. Ain't picked up a gun or nothing. This kid ain't never had no type of gun issues. He just posted some shit. Okay. He's gone. Now here we go. Second Amendment, you know, my man Ja, he show his little blower, and now boom, yeah, you're out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's like they want these dudes, and that's why they starting with the whole AAU programs down low, down in the lower ranks, because they want a bunch of conformists, bro. They don't want anybody that's gonna shake up the status quo. So they got this suburban basketball that they playing right now, man. You know, you get an inner city kid or two that was able to afford or got a sponsor or whatever for the AAU, to where he was able to travel and do all of the things, where he was able to go be seen on that circuit or whatever. But they didn't totally taking it away from the high school athletes and all that, man. It's just like club ball, and you know, it's more well-to-do people. That's why you see a lot of these NBA dudes' sons who really they be stock. I mean, I don't even make me start naming dudes. But the reason why you see them is because they're the ones that can afford to go to all these camps and all that. So they're the ones getting the visibility and all that, bro. They just didn't change the whole. They trying to do it with football. The only thing with foot is you need some attitude on your team if you're going to have a good team. You can't have a bunch of nice guys in football. Somebody got to have
Ragu, though, I think what you just said also I agree with. All the other stuff you said I agree with. But like most of the things that I agreed with that you said today, I don't feel like most of that stuff applies to Ja. Ja is one of them AAU kids who was able to afford to go to those camps and all of that and had the 2-parent clean-cut household, if you see some of the pictures and all of that. Now, does that mean he wasn't possibly trying to dabble on his own back then? That I don't know. I don't know the man personally. But
he sound like a poser.
It could be, you know, that definitely could be attributed to of what you were saying about the rap music of him, because that's his era, is the NBA young boys and drill, Chief Keef and all them. That is definitely he's definitely a product of that era. So I could definitely see that. But just as far as you sound like you feel it's excessive, or y'all feeling like they doing too much with them, y'all seen a lot of eras of the NBA, far more than I have. And you've seen it come to I know you guys have seen that the NBA basically has this pinpoint of there was a before and after, and that's the Malice at the Palace. There was definitely a huge cleanup that they attempted to do after Malice at the Palace, which could also be another point D made about the whole AAU NBA kids.
So you saying there's a NBA BM and a NBA AM. An NBA before the massacre. I mean
the Malice.
It's not a massacre. Before what they call it?
Malice at the Palace.
The Malice at the Palace. So NBA before the Malice, and then the NBA after.
Right. And
so 2004.
Ja is in the middle of the after. So if there was ever a time to not be doing dumb spit like that, is now. Now, if he would have just got caught with it with him and he had it on them, and then they doing all of this, and he didn't have some of these other incidences with the tweets that he sent out and all that, 100%, I'd be like, you know what, like y'all doing too much. But he got it, and I don't, and you know, even from what Rico was saying, I don't feel like it's a thing of where like they're digging at like his dignity or his morale or anything like that. Just stop doing this young dumb spit and get your bread. That's what I was saying about that. I'm not saying you have to conform to nothing outside of what your morale is. If you feel like you need the heat on you for whatever reason, then that's what you do. But you don't need to flaunt the spit to your millions of followers on Insta. That's dumb anyway. That's not even something a nigga would do, even if they wasn't in your position.
It's poser activity.
So that's all I'm saying with it. Like,
so what I'm saying is now I'm gonna look at it from, okay, I'm a father and I got a son, and he plays sports. He's playing basketball too. So I'm saying my son hits the league, and my son wants to carry a gun. The smart thing for me to do is get him a bodyguard.
Yeah, I was gonna say get him a team.
Right.
And get him somebody to go with him. He ain't got to do all that.
Somebody that got that CCW.
So going back all the way when I said cut from that same cloth and different people do different. You know what I'm saying? Here I am. I ain't, I'm all single. All my sons, they come up with me as, being there when I can be there. But at the end of the day, from a father and a coach's standpoint, no, man, you don't need to hear, because I'm all about no violence, no violence. If we can talk about it, we can settle it. You know what I'm saying? We can be men. Yeah. Men appreciate, disagree. Men can disagree. Women can't disagree. They're going to do something different. But if my son wants to carry a gun, as a dude who carried guns and was in the street, been shot, been through some things in them streets, man, I'm going to give my sons, all of them, right now today, none of them are from a gang. I thank God. I got 4 or 5 sons. I got 5 boys. None of them are in the gang. You know what I mean? And I'm thankful, bro. I'm from Watts, Nixon, going to California. Ain't no way. How did all my sons miss it? And I didn't live with them, all of them. Couldn't have. Right. But at the end of the day, it's the giving knowledge that you got to give, not only your sons, the culture around you, as I try to give out every day on my social media outlet, is try to give a little knowledge for the next brother to don't make that mistake, just like you saying, my brother. No matter what, you shouldn't have been doing that, homie. At the end of the day, you got to understand who you represent. And like I said before, too, if you go outside that door, my grandfather would tell me, you representing his house. So go make a name for yourself. Don't be a lame in the streets. So, you're right, man. I roll, he shouldn't have done that, brother. I agree totally with
you. Yeah, man. But, like I said, I was spot on with everything y'all was saying. And I appreciate the education, and not just me, but the people viewing as well, to see that other perspective, because I haven't seen any platform break it down the way that y'all just did. So, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of this. Y'all got any last words on that before we go to the more basketball related with him?
Man, I wish him the best. I hope he come up out of that thing better, and I hope the people come to agreement where both sides can learn from something.
Yeah, that's what I want to say too, man. Both sides, I think, need to take a look at each other, at themselves in the mirror, man. And but overall, you know, just to kind of wrap it up, I wish Ja the best. I hope he learns from this. His camp. Don't be a poser and shake any suckers, man. That's like hanging around you.
That's, man,
young fella.
Preach.
Take them poser folks and them you know, them ne'er-do-well people, man. Them dudes that wasn't gonna do well no matter what happened in their life. Take them dudes, man. So
certainly.
Keep them yes dudes. If they always saying, yeah, that's cool. That's it. No, let them go.
Yeah.
You need somebody gonna tell you, homie, that ain't right. Why you got that in there? Man, let me get that.
And
yeah.
Now that's one thing, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been Steve Smith. That is one thing that he mentioned about the people around him, is that you got these dudes that they become yes men because they so scared to say something because that's the money. And like D said, without Ja, I probably wouldn't be doing spit right now. I wouldn't be nowhere near any of this type of stuff. So they be so scared to even say something, or they not you know, feeling solidified in their positioning, you know, probably outside of T. Can't nobody, who's to say who can tell him something like that? Like, nigga, you know, chill out with all that.
Yeah.
T probably the only one that really do got that power to do that, to do so. So, but yeah, that's a recipe for disaster when you got a bunch of people around you like that. For sure.
Well, I done seen situations happen to another NBA player like that. Now that it come to my mind, and you know what I'm saying, from my neighborhood, you know what I mean? There's no way he should have been caught with a gun. The people around him supposed to put that on them, which, you know, one or two of them may have come up and took it later, but from the jump,
yeah,
you the bag. What you need the pistol for, homie?
Yeah, supposed to protect the asset.
And you ain't supposed to be. You somebody who's licensed and I'll go have a good time, man.
Because if that was one of them, I don't even think this would be a story right now. He'd be playing tonight.
Hey, Fame. That's why the industry needs some real agents. Some of them agents need to be like you and I. I'll get Ja in the room.
And just for the record, for the people, Ragu has been saying that the last 12 years that I've known him.
Yep.
He probably don't remember talking to me about
Ja down in the room like, hey, man, check this out, man. This is my bag too, homeboy.
Yep.
Somebody that's go like, man.
And at this point, you already got your percentage, so you could keep it real with him. He already signed for the bag.
Hey, look, that's crazy, D, that you say that, because my man, you know, me and D coach high school football together before. You know, and it's been my man in high school, man. And there's a story right there, huh, D? I said it the other night. You know, I was coming up through the ranks, and then, you know, I'm a hustler and I'm doing my thing. And he from a whole nother neighborhood. I was like, nigga, I see you going left, nigga. We gonna have to get down every time I see you, nigga, if you don't be playing and doing the right thing.
And this dude wasn't no poser, man.
Right.
This was, you know, real activities, the activities that go on. He was like, really?
Yeah, that's like that. That's that Chris Brown syndrome. I'm gonna wait till I get on to get involved with all that.
Oh stuff. Man, I hate that.
Clown spit.
Oh, the young fella, he tight. The young fella tight over there. I like the young fella, man. Fella tight, man.
Hey, the most famous one is Big Shug.
Hey, that don't be. But you know what, D? Hold on. I'm gonna tell you the small difference.
They don't know I ain't lying.
I'm gonna tell you the small difference with that though. Suge really was with the business though at that time. At that
Okay.
time, not before that. But that's the only difference. Suge really would F you up, though.
Brother,
Yeah, no doubt.
brother became a real gangster, man. The brother
Yeah,
became
like you say something in front of Suge, like it's real G niggas that gave stories on Suge. Like, nah, Suge,
Yeah.
woo. Like,
oh, look what I'm saying, though. I'm gonna say this, and I you know, because I ain't the one that, you know, but listen, I'm gonna say this, man. Just because you was a buster in the 6th grade and the 5th grade, don't mean you're gonna be that same soft nigga when you. I'm telling you.
No, that's true. That's true. That's true.
It was you didn't want to do all that stuff then. Nigga, as time permits, and you in the hood or community or projects or nigga with turf, eventually you got to do something. And guess what? You ain't gonna be that same soft dude getting your lunch money taken. Niggas hitting you, you know what I'm saying? Hitting you every time you go to the store. Come here, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You gonna throw them up and say, man, I ain't giving it up this time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, and that's what dudes have a problem that I you know, growing up and understanding this shit, man. It's like you can't just do that to you know, you got to give a man his respect. And I learned that from my coach, man. You always give your opponent, or, you know, the respect that they deserve, because you don't never know. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, man, yeah. Little Johnny grows up, man. He don't stay little Johnny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
all right, so let's go to the basketball side of this, because now that they having these new talks about indefinitely and possibly 50 plus games and all that, which I'm hoping that's not the case, obviously. But between that, I don't know if you guys seen the press conference with Taylor Jenkins speaking on it, but I ain't gonna lie, it made me a little uncomfortable. It didn't sound like a coach that had his players back. It sounded very judgmental, which means the chemistry in that end might be a problem. Apparently Steven Adams had a players only meeting with the team. I'm not 100% sure if Ja was in that or not. But they said the tone from it was, you know, Adams had a huge issue with what, you know, what would transpire with Ja. And there's no telling what other teammates, you know, might feel the same way as well. So I'm saying all that to say, as far as the chemistry with the team, and as far as like, you know, those win now windows, you know, not being open for very long, like, you know what I'm saying, especially when you only have one superstar. And in this case, the issue is with the superstar. So,
wow.
Worst case scenario with this, where do y'all see, like, how long do y'all see this Memphis thing riding?
Glad you asked. Hey, we in need of another superstar out west. Send him. He got stricter gun laws and shit, so he'll be more under control. And so Memphis, we will take care of your problems for you. Memphis, just send us. Tell us who you need.
Guess what I'm gonna say to that? They got Bloods and Crips out here. Come on, man. You can be.
So y'all just want to tear it all up right now. Just tear it all up. Let the little nigga go.
But I love him. Yeah, hey.
Out here and see what you want to be.
Hey, if they don't want him, no, okay. But seriously though,
because we seen once Gilbert had his gun incident, how the rest of the trajectory for that Wizards team was. They blew that spit up. Started a new era.
Now listen. Adam Sandler stuck his hand from where he at in his office all the way to the Memphis front office. And so what you saw in that press conference with the coach and whatever else came out of that meeting, you already know.
But he told him, you better say, like, I don't want to hear none of
that. The word earlier, and I try not to use it as much. Dictatorship.
Yeah.
So here's my take, right? And I've said it to D many a times. If all of the brothers, you know, they have these player PAs supposed to represent for them.
Players Association.
Yes. Basketball, football. Listen, man, Y'all paying, I'm saying it to them. Y'all paying them for nothing. If you do one thing, and I'm not encouraging negativity, but I'm saying you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. Don't show up on game day, all the brothers, and watch who be calling who.
Yeah.
But guess what? You ain't got that much heart in you like Huey Newton and the Black Panthers, because they stood for something. They lost.
So here's my take on that. Okay, like they say, oh, we should go start our own sports league. Okay.
No.
Now, with them people that are mad at Kanye and Kyrie and Adams people, if they still control
Hey, I like your supplement though, instead of saying Adams people.
Look, if they still control the media situation, okay, we go start our own league, but we don't own any media. How are we going to get our stuff out to the masses, our pro league? In other words, they will not watch, bro. Even though they want to, they will freeze us out just because that's, I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out eventually, but it would definitely sacrifice the career of several athletes and their prime. My thing is, bro, they won't watch and they won't sign TV deals with a professional sports league that was all black.
No, I think you heard it. No, I wasn't saying for us to go do our own league. No, I'm not on that. What I'm saying is just don't show up that day.
That's what I'm on.
Talk to me the right way. You see what I'm saying? Now you're going to get some act right, because that one day going to hurt your pockets, because y'all all about the pockets.
See, and my thing is, I'm looking at it like this. I want to see a world where they are like us now. So they're coming over to our league as the minimum that they are, the little percentage of them that play the sport now, but they're coming to us in more of a, hey, we want to be in your league, not it's a little bit of them and all of us are coming to them saying, hey, we want to be in your league. You know what I'm saying? I feel like because we are the best at it, okay, we should be running it, not getting ran. And, that's a whole nother, that's a whole show right there, JC.
Yeah, that's a whole nother one. We go in on that one. Great question, brother.
So as of right now, at this very moment, who do y'all got coming out the West right now?
Phoenix Suns.
So I'm trying to get a feel for how bad my man's foot is. Okay. But we, hey man.
Hey man.
I was thinking play in, but if we get the king back with enough time to,
I ain't gonna lie, that's not looking good right now.
We can go slot. His foot is bad. It's worse than they saying.
They just reported today that the Lakers are preparing. They're not saying that this was gonna happen, but they're preparing to go into the playoffs possibly without him.
Oh man! Possibly. All right, so
guy with the receding hairline is sabotaged.
Phoenix, man.
Phoenix. What's this Phoenix faith? Explain it to me. Booker be choking in the playoffs. CP's 40. Aiden is inconsistent every other game. Like what? The bench is terrible. What is it y'all seeing?
They got a killer that knows how to win. That got championships. He's a
Ragu
killer.
Disagrees with you on that for sure.
He's a killer. He's a baby. What's the baby mamba? He's a killer.
Oh, Durant?
Absolutely. See, he's a bit of
a front runner, but I believe that this might be the squad if Chris Paul fuck around and get hurt though in the next couple of weeks.
Right.
If everything holds like normal, in this next 30 days, Chris Paul will go out for the rest of the playoffs.
Normal is Booker choking in the playoffs.
I'm here to tell you. choke. Chris
Oh,
Paul gets hurt. If Chris Paul gets hurt, he wasn't even a factor anyway. He just listen, Chris Paul there just to get his championship. Kev said, I got you. You just
he
come
like
on.
a little coach. He like a little coach though.
Yeah, like that's what's gonna get
Yeah, no. Okay. CP is 40. CP is damn near 40, but he is a floor general, and he does have value on the floor as far as like D said, being a coach on the floor and being like that floor general, orchestrating the offense whenever they get into that ISO mode, because KD and Booker can easily get into that.
Sound effect.
Yeah.
Here they go. Hey, listen, that's to answer your question for the Booker guy who's hey, where's a kid and got to the game 7 of the championship, bro?
Tell us how you really feel about Booker there, JC.
I've been done with Booker years ago. I used to believe in him.
Yeah.
And then he finally did get to the playoffs, and I was just like, did y'all not see that game 7 against Dallas that they had no business losing?
You tell me another rook that got to game 7 like that. Another rook. You named it. Give me one.
You said what? I couldn't hear you.
What happened to your mic? Where you?
All right then.
Your mic must have got farther away.
We couldn't hear you, brother.
I lost sound.
Let me see.
Can you hear me? I lost sound.
But not as good.
I lost sound.
Yeah, I know. Let me see. Try
We
mute.
We hear you. I hear you.
Hey, listen.
Oh, I hear you now.
Yeah.
You say Booker, he's in your era, bro. He's gonna give you. He's a killer, bro.
Booker ain't my era.
Oh, he's not in your era?
Nah.
He's younger than you.
Kobe, Iverson, and T-Mac is my era.
Well, see, you didn't see some of the wettest guys, so you putting him you can't put him up against those guys yet.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was disrespectful when they was talking that Kobe stuff.
Yeah, they did.
Who said that now?
Oh, that was a thing.
No, that was the thing. Thing. They was out here on that for a minute.
Now that goes to show you about those media guys. I'm gonna say those media guys. They got so many shows that they just talk about anything, man.
Oh, hey, you so right. It's so much time to fill, bro.
Man,
that's where a lot of these garbage ass takes are born from. There's just so much time to fill. They like, okay, let's just say this shit right here today.
Anything like when they was doing the Ja Morant thing, since we on Ja, they leading up to it, or they you know what I'm saying? Everybody got he beat up the 16-year-old. They just add more shit to the joint. They just giving you, oh man, his girlfriend in the 12th grade had blonde hair, huh? Like, come on, man.
So the reason I had to even ask that question was because I actually had Memphis coming out of the West prior to all of this drama. With this going on, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, and it's gonna sound like a real safe pick. If my Lakers don't get up in there, I think watch Golden State again.
Yeah.
I just can't fathom any of these other teams that's set to get in to Dallas. I would have a little more faith in them. But it just hasn't, as far as like Luka and Kyrie, that combination, I think it's going to take more than 20 games for them to get that chemistry they need, if they ever even get it, as far as playing.
So Denver is not even mentioned. Doesn't even get, you mentioned like 4 teams.
No.
And they're the 1 seed.
No. They was 6 last year with the same team. They just won more games. That's all.
Kendrick and JJ exchange about the MVP today.
That was the next topic.
No.
Hey,
is that your guy?
I'm ready.
Is that your guy?
Who?
I'm ready.
Who my guy?
No, I'm asking D. Is that his guy?
Oh,
The MVP. Yo, D, is that your guy?
No.
Oh, all right. Because he's
I
definitely
agree.
nice. What about you, young fella?
I wholeheartedly agree with Red. You gonna see some clips from the show. I'm gonna send them to you. Like me and my boy Isaiah, we had a lot of battles about that guy.
Isaiah loves Jokic.
Yeah, Isaiah loves Jokic. I didn't went to bat with him about Jokic because I've been feeling like he way over glorified. That's where I stand on it. And that's why I don't care nothing about this 1C stuff. I don't see them. I mean, he's had pretty much the same squad.
Is he the MVP?
With a couple pieces in and there taken out. He's had the same squad the last 4 or 5 years. What has he done with it?
Is he your MVP?
Hell no. Hell no. And I think it's extremely disrespectful that they gearing up to try to give him 3 in a row.
Wow.
Like that's
so.
Tell you what.
I'm gonna wait for you to introduce the topic before I put my zingers in there.
Oh, okay.
I got zingers about this.
All right. So next was the East. Who y'all got coming out that East?
Okay. Now that's good. This is good. This is interesting.
Yeah. For real.
This is interesting. So, the obvious choice is the Celtics, I would say, because they're the defending Eastern champ.
The obvious choice?
I mean, to me, that would be the easy choice. They were playing well. They won the East last year.
Because they snuck out of that Miami series, so I wouldn't call that the easy choice at all.
Hey, but my main man dropped a 50-piece to solidify his first ring. This guy, man, has been on fire, bro.
That's the obvious choice to me. I don't know what this
guy has been lights out for the last what? What would you say? What would you say, JC? The last 3 weeks?
Who?
Giannis.
I mean, they was on a 16-game winning streak, so
man, the last
longer than that.
Damn near month, bro. This dude has been the best player in the National Basketball Association.
After that 50-piece that you talking about when he closed out the series, that was when I officially had him as the best player in the league, and I haven't really wavered off of that since. Even though I want to, because I'm a KD guy, but I haven't wavered off of that yet. KD needs to make me waver off of that, and he hasn't yet as of right now.
Hey man,
I don't think KD can get back to that level.
Hey, I wholeheartedly agree with you guys, man, with Milwaukee, man. But listen, man, you heard the butt, right? But listen,
yeah.
I don't want to say I wish nobody good health. I mean, wish all the guys good health, man. But that goddamn Tatum, man, oh man, them Celtics.
Hey man, what kind of Laker fans is y'all, man? This is disgusting.
I didn't say. I did say something.
And the fans is the fan I am. I'm a diehard, man. But
I got Milwaukee and Philly making it over Boston.
We're talking, not Philly.
I was gonna speak on Philly.
Not any Philly, man. I mean, Philly just Harden, man. They say Harden ain't hard no more, man. For some reason,
Harden, but Harden don't have to be Harden. They just need him to distribute. He don't got all the pressure of having to be the guy no more, so it don't matter how he play. They just need him to distribute. And B's gonna be the number one guy.
Who else?
What you mean?
Who else?
Him.
So are you disrespecting Tyrese Maxey right now?
Come on, man.
He averaged more than both of them last year in the playoffs. What you mean in that first round?
So you said
you forgot about that performance?
I like Philly.
They got PJ Tucker, who's a gritty defender who was guarding the best player on those teams when he was on that Milwaukee run.
They're not gonna get Middleton back, right?
Middleton back.
Oh man,
he been back. He coming off the bench though.
He in and out the lineup.
Man.
No, he coming off the bench. He's not at his full minutes yet. He's still getting like 20, 25 a game.
So
and they on a 16-game win streak, and Middleton is now
it's over now because Embiid ended it.
Yeah, they lost. They lost the other night. So they won. They won 16 of 17, and you saying Middleton is just now getting back. So you know, man. I gotta say
actually, so the 16-game winning streak started when Middleton came back. The only game they lost was the Philly game.
I mean, I'm saying the Bucks, man, but I got a damn so strong butt there with them Celtics, man.
Giannis is one of the only superstars of all time, really, that plays hard on both ends of the floor. He's really a two-way player.
You said one of the only or the only?
No, I said one of the only, okay. not the. Mike is the standard for that.
That's what came to mind.
Mike is the standard for that. Kobe also played hard on D.
But Kobe had his moments.
Then he had his years after that where he did not play hard on D, just like LeBron. LeBron too.
Kobe locked you up when needed. That's what Kobe did. But he definitely had some moments where he, saved that exertiveness for the other end.
Absolutely. And that's what you do as a, you a gun.
He was saying that's advice that Jordan gave him as far as like, because they was talking about like the load management and all of that. And he was saying that he told him that you can find ways to kind of that rest thing. You can find ways to kind of do that in between games and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? As far as certain possessions or certain times or ramping it up here and stuff like that. And then you can do your load management that way, but you still on the floor. And you still out there damn near giving your 30.
Yeah.
You
so win-win.
And you're there for your team.
Yep.
Everything is still the same as far as what that other squad feels like they have to guard and all that. So that makes a difference.
On the East, y'all know I super F with Embiid, but also for personal reasons, I got to ride with Philly. That's the fam. But I will say, as far as the outside of Boston and Milwaukee, watch Cleveland, watch Miami.
I was gonna get to Miami too. So my 4 would be Miami, Milwaukee, Boston, and Philly, with a side of New York, man.
Oh hell no! This nigga said New York.
That's a long shot, man. It's a long shot.
Man, that's not happening. Nothing is going on with that. And Randall is their best player.
He's pretty good.
He good until that NBA playoff logo get on the hardwood.
You steady dissing people over their playoff performance.
Ain't that where it matters at?
Hey, I got one question.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Hey, man,
I got clear. If Mitchell plays like how he's supposed to, if he don't stink up the joint come April, I would watch them as well. They another sneaky team that people could like sleep on, and then they,
Cleveland.
You know what I'm saying? It might be too late by the time they look up.
Oh,
Cleveland. They got some dogs over there. Mobley is over there playing out of his mind, and because they in Cleveland, ain't nobody talking about it.
Right. Yeah.
I like that young cat.
Hey man, I liked that Memphis team, man. Oh man, Brooks.
Which one?
The scrappy guys, man. The Memphis team with John there, man. They were scrappy, man.
To me, like this Memphis team was like, I looked at it as like that early grind city team, but now they got a superstar. So that's why I seen them like actually, this is what they needed back then, that Gasol and Zebo team and Tony Allen and all them. They needed this. Now I feel like this is that same team, but they got that now.
With that boy, Zebo was a monster.
Yeah, he was.
I forgot about them.
Yeah, they was one of them teams to where it was like, they're gonna be in the mix every year, but they not going. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like that.
Like Denver, nigga.
I was gonna say like Steven Jackson there on in Golden State when they had Baron Davis and all them.
That's how y'all felt about them?
They was gonna always go to the playoffs, but they wasn't gonna be able to win. You know what I mean? They were a good team, but just not.
That sounded like Steven Jackson wasn't doing enough then, because he could get you 23 a game. What was his problem? Why he wasn't doing that?
No, Stack used to do his thing.
In the playoffs?
Matter of fact, before, like now, I know the history with him and Kobe and all that, and that they knew each other and knew about each other and all that. But he was one of them dudes, man, that I used to be like, man, this nigga don't got no respect for Kobe, man. Like, this nigga, what's wrong with this guy? You know what I mean? Like, he had an attitude, like, but I like that.
He was a Spur. What you expect?
I know, but see, I didn't know what was up with him at first. But at the same time, I like that in a player, too, that he didn't have he didn't give a fuck about Kobe, man. So,
Iverson was like that at that time, too. At that time.
They was tough. BD was BD. They had, like, young Matt Barnes and a few other guys, man, on that team. They was, they wasn't going to be able to compete with that Laker team at the time, but they were good.
They took out that number 1 seed.
Yeah. And I remember Denver doing that as well years ago. Yeah, you remember that?
Mutombo and them.
Yeah.
Who was it that they took out again?
Was it Seattle, I want to say? I think they might have beat the Supersonics.
Because I know it wasn't Houston, right? Because it was 94, and they won that year.
Nah, man, Houston went. I don't think they were number 1 seed in either of them 2 championships they won.
I know the second one, they was a 6 seed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I don't remember what they was.
I remember being a 6 seed in that second one. So that first one, I don't think they was first. They might have been second. Because you know what? I think Phoenix was first. Yeah.
In 94?
Yep. Because they came right back, but then they lost in the Western Final, right? Phoenix versus Houston.
Phoenix versus Houston.
1994 Western Conference Final.
If that's the year that if they was number 1 that year, then they would have been the ones that lost, because that was the year that Mutombo and them did that.
Mutombo.
If I'm not mistaken, I was 94
Western Conference Final.
Yeah, let's see what it say.
NBA.
That was Spurs in Houston, right?
Spurs in Houston.
Ain't that when Hakeem worked that nigga out? Because Robinson got like leading scorer or something like that, or got MVP.
That was Jazz Rockets.
In 94?
Yeah.
That's far back there for me.
What was Utah's struggle, man? Why these niggas couldn't figure that out?
Mike
wasn't there that year, nigga.
I'm just saying why they didn't win, in general. Mike and then Kobe Shaq. Utah was.
What you mean they beat us?
But they didn't we run 3 in a row. They never won any.
I mean, they was done by then. I'm talking about in the 90s.
They beat us that first year before we had Field.
Hey, man.
They beat Dale Harris and Kobe Shaq, not the real Kobe Shaq.
They died with the pick and roll shit. And, Malone didn't deliver every year.
All right, let's go Perkins.
They got swept. They damn near swept Houston. The Knicks. Meanwhile, the Pacers, they damn near swept the Jazz. Meanwhile, the Pacers and the Knicks went 7.
Yeah, that was a series right there. Them niggas.
That was. All the games were fairly close. I don't know about y'all, but I missed a good 83-77 ball game. Shit.
Yeah. I don't mean to go off track here, D, but I don't understand the logic in the NBA saying we think it's going to be fun and better if we let them score as many points as possible. I don't understand how they think that's logic. Like, that's boring to me. I don't want to see niggas just be able to run and score whenever the F they want to. I
want to see some dudes like out there like really struggling
fight. Yeah. Like, I don't get how they, like, who told them that was like a good idea? And I was going to bring this up later, but, you know, apparently the ratings have been lower than ever this year. Yes. And they wondering why. But they thought
the ratings should be flat out alarming to them if they keep it at 100 with themselves, man. The ratings should be alarming.
The ratings declined by 29% and viewership by 27% from last year. And the All-Star game was well behind this year's NFL Pro Bowl. And this is the worst that the views have been since the year 2000.
The All-Star game was behind the Pro Bowl?
Well behind the Pro Bowl. Well behind the Pro Bowl. That's how bad that split is. So it's like, who's telling them to keep trying to get more offense? Is it I don't know if they think the more niggas averaging 30, the better the game looks. I don't know. But I think that's what they need to start fixing.
Analytics is a decent idea in baseball. Outside of that, they need to just go back to good old-fashioned talent eval, scouting, and then some of these rules, man. You know, these flagrants.
Did you see they just added the transition take foul? Like, to me, that's great defense.
That's past the breakaway?
That means
added onto the breakaway?
So you know, like when you get like a rebound or you just got the ball and you finna go in a fast break and they foul you so you don't get that, you know, potential easy break.
Yeah.
Now that's a technical. You get a free throw for that. And the
ball. Hey, man, you know, I was looking at these scores from, you know, and granted it's, you know, close to 30 years ago now. These dudes went and you said yourself, JC, that this was a series, in your opinion. So game 1, 100-89, Knicks won. Game 2, 89-78. Game 3.
Niggas be having 78 damn near at the halves now.
88-68. That was a bad game by the Knicks. They only had 68 points. Then you had 83-77 in the closeout game by the Knicks. No, the Pacers won game 5, 93-86. Knicks won 98-91. And then game 7, Knicks won 90-94. I'm not mad at that.
Look,
that's good hard-nosed basketball.
They're going to try to say we sound like the old boomers and all that shit, but them numbers that I just read off speaks for itself.
It should. Hey, what they gonna do? Sit around and just let the shit continue?
It seems like they're trying to make it worse.
How many years can you lose? How many years in a row can you lose 27% viewership, bro?
The one thing I do agree with the clear path foul. I do agree that if a nigga has a wide open bucket, like he should be able to have a chance to get those 2 points. Right. But what I don't agree with, you shouldn't get the ball back though. After you shoot your free throws, all right, now let's go. You got the 2 points you was finna get. Now let's get back to some basketball. That's how I think that should go. You take those 2 things away right there, and then that 14-second split. That's another thing they do, so you can hurry up and put the ball back up. These are all the things they done in these last just 10 years alone.
I remember the 14 seconds, and I really wasn't mad at that. You don't need another 24 on a dead ball or the dead balls or non-shooting fouls, right? You get 14 seconds reset.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. But some of the fouls, the flagrants, the upgradings of the flagrants and all that.
The flagrants on with though. We not going back to that Detroit Jordan Smith. We're not doing that again. That's why I didn't say nothing about the flagrant.
We're not going to.
You can't do wrestling, man. Play some defense.
I understand that. But, make it to where all I'm saying is that the dude isn't going to be kicked out. The dude that keeps fouling you is going to be there, still fouling you. That was the part. That was the thing about that, 80s, 90s basketball was, it's a foul, but dude ain't finna get kicked out the game and shit. So you have to make the decision. Are you going to keep coming and, risk this fool fouling you until he fouls out? Or are you going to punk out and start shooting jump shots?
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But I'm talking about like Isaiah Thomas having to get stitches all over his eye type spit.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
The spit that Bill Laimbeer used to do, or even what Parrish did to Laimbeer. That type of spit. I'm
surprised that you mentioned all of that Detroit shit, how Mikhail did Rambis. We cannot have that. We cannot have that, right? That's what you mean.
Absolutely.
You can't go back to that. All that shit that happened to the Pistons and the Celtics and shit, fuck them.
Yeah, and it's absolutely cool what Kareem did to old boy when he broke his jaw. that was absolutely fine.
And Kermit as well, huh? No. So Kermit, he kind of overreacted.
Was that the one where dude was running up and he turned around and
they
effed him up for that though, didn't they? Like the league or his life in general, right? Like he was toe up after that, from what I heard.
Yeah, and he was averaging a double-double for us at the time.
Yeah,
he played the PF.
Yeah, from what I seen, his life was never the same after that, man. He got a
it
real.
Wasn't.
They made
it wasn't never the same.
No, it wasn't.
What I didn't know until recently is he was averaging a double-double for
us. That season.
Yeah, he was averaging
y'all
like
niggas didn't have stats at your
rebounds.
hands like that in your handheld at the time. You only knew stats by what they told you.
Yeah, back then you had to wait till that shit got put in the paper or Sports Illustrated or something.
Absolutely.
What a time.
Until recently, I just realized, he was averaging 11 points, 12 boards.
Damn, that's nice. That sounds like Rudy Gobert numbers. He got a super contract for that.
Right. He used to be in the MVP discussion for that shit. The Lakers really wasn't the same after that either. It wasn't until we got Irv, until we kind of came out of that whole Kermit Washington shit. We never gained our momentum back. We was a playoff team trying to improve after just getting Kareem a couple years ago. And then that shit happened with Kermit and set us back. And then we the rest is history.
Right.
The 6'9" point guard from East Lansing.
You know what I'm saying?
I love how you tell the story.
The 6'9" point guard from East Lansing, Michigan.
6'9".
We know, and the rest is history.
All right, let's go Perkins JJ so we can get to this game. So Perkins made a factual statement, in my opinion. He said that I believe in the last 33 years, there's only 3 MVPs who were outside of the top 10 in scoring. And guess who those 3 were? Steve Nash, Jokic, and Dirk Nowitzki. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he left that up into interpretation. Of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all figure that out. And JJ tried to have his real woke rant going at him. Oh, you're implying that the media writers are racist. And he didn't say spit like that or alluding to that. I thought that was ridiculous of what JJ was trying to do. But JJ is always super duper defensive over the players in general, to where it's like getting kind of ridiculous. Like he even was defending Ben Simmons real hard at one point. So that's just what it is with him. But yeah, based on that, man, like what's y'all take on that whole debate? I can only imagine, but
okay. So first of all, I loved when Jerry West commented on some shit JJ Redick had said. So that kind of took the brothers out of it. These is just now we just talking basketball, right? Because Jerry West basically was like, if you read between the lines of what he was saying, it's like JJU was trash. I'm just keeping it 100.
I didn't even think about picking you.
He was like, I know as for myself, I was above average speed and I could jump high. And, I developed into a really good shooter. He was like, you just was a guy that could shoot and stretch some of the zone defenses. You certainly wasn't stopping anybody on defense. This Jerry West telling him. So,
yeah, because I think that was out of response to when he tried to say
plumbers, the whole plumbers,
80s players and all that.
Yeah.
And I think Dominique, I don't know if you've seen, but Neek just got at him too because he tried to say Bird, Steph was better than Bird, or and that Bird objectively wasn't a top 5 shooter. Like it wasn't even an argument.
God.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw Neek get on him, and I also saw
But that's funny as hell with Jerry West.
Also saw Coop get on him. Coop was like, man,
Coop was like, I would have L'd you down. Hey, and Coop was absolutely, matter of fact, Coop wouldn't even been guarding JJ. Like there's been no point.
He ain't got enough game.
Yeah, like
JJ ain't got enough game to waste us putting Coop on him.
On a nigga that's finna spot up somewhere. You ain't even running as much as Steph and Clay do. I gotta go here. You a spot up nigga.
Right. So all I can say about the whole thing with the MVP stuff is, man, if JJ jumps to the conclusion if that's what he was saying, and the reason why you jump to that conclusion is because you know that shit is what it is. So my thing is, they always find.
Like, why would you jump straight to that? And that's not even, to be honest, even if you want to allude to what he said, that wasn't even what he was saying either. He could say that there's a bias against it, but to flat out go to, oh, you're saying they're racist. Like, come on with the BS, man. That's like a what you call like damage control type of thing. Yeah. You're trying to jump out in front.
Yeah, they do it in football too.
No, they be trying to get the dudes to jump, man, so they can ban them.
Yeah. That's a good point. That was a tactic to try to get Perk.
Perk stop.
Yeah, that was a tactic to try to get Perk up out of there. You're right.
Yeah.
Then you look up, you got all Adams peoples in there. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm glad Perk stopped him fast. Like, nigga, that's not what I said.
Yeah.
Right.
He said you implied that.
Out of line.
Like, I didn't say that though. I just
right. You said that I said that first. Now you saying I implied it. What is you on right now?
Right. Yeah, get it right. Get it right, because we don't want what's the name them to be tripping, coming on here talking about I can't say.
Right.
And who about and all that. All I'm saying is, man, it seems like they always trying to find one to give it to in both of them sports. It's it is an implied thing, but because it's not overtly spoken or said, or we not in them meetings or whatever, there's no proof to say that, hey, yeah, they looking at it in a different lens. But hey, man, come on, man. Even when my man Kobe is gone now, but Steve Nash, he got at least one of Kobe trophies, man.
Hey, I was just watching this old open court just last night, coincidentally, when Shaq had got on Kenny Smith for that. And this is when Kobe was alive at the time. And Kenny Smith tried to, because they was talking about the top 50 of all time that they did in 1997, and then they were doing like a next best 10, and he tried to mention Steve Nash, and that nigga was like, hell no. And Kenny Smith was like, but he's a back-to-back MVP, and he was like, but was he a real true 2-time MVP? And Jet was like, well, yeah, I think he is. And Shaq was like, nigga, over me, get the F out of here. Over Cole, F out of here.
Yeah. You could have gave it to either one of them. And they kind of used to cancel each other out, but still, man. Dude used to just run around getting screens set for him and then passing the ball off, and they gave this dude. I mean, I don't even want to get on it. Nash
was nice. He just wasn't MVP.
He was not the MVP. Yeah, he was not the MVP. So, also, with the Jokic guy, I mean, come on, man. 3 in a row. I mean, what is that saying? To me, the statement that they be trying to make.
I feel like that's what I'm like. Are y'all niggas trying to go to like Jordan, Kareem, King type territory? Like, what are y'all doing right now?
They trying to get the numbers to the where. I don't know, man. It's gonna be him or Luka.
I would agree with Luka more so than this nigga though. He's not doing nothing that, I mean, other than like the fact that he's a center. Yes, we haven't seen that before from a center as far as like at this level. You're like a Mark Gasol on steroids, I would say. But Westbrook averaged a triple-double like 2-3 seasons straight. All of a sudden, that's what y'all putting y'all weight in. Like, oh, well, he's averaging a triple-double. And then now y'all want to put all these stocks in these advanced stats and analytics that was never even truly tested for real. Y'all did that to try to discredit certain players' legacies, and it's worked thus far because it came from ESPN or somebody that was working at ESPN at the time. And that's what they're using as their motive of like, yeah, we're going to, this is the MVP. You need to be better than him. There's no way that first one he got 1,000%. There's no way on God's green earth he should have got that over Embiid. No way possible. Yeah. And then the excuse they tried to use wasn't even, it was so hypocritical because I think Embiid ended up missing like 15 games at the time. But LaMelo Ball also missed like 15 games at the time. They gave LaMelo Rookie of the Year still, but they wouldn't give Embiid MVP because they trying to say, oh, he missed too many games. But he was clear-cut number one at the time that he got hurt before those 15 games and finished with a much better record than Jokic at the time, and you still didn't give it to that man.
Hey,
yeah, and
that's man on the ground, man. You can dictate your sport when you start changing all the rules. So when you start changing rules for what made the sport great, hear me when I say that. What made each sport great? Baseball, basketball, football. When you start tampering with shit, you're doing it for your own reason.
Yeah.
And like you said, my man, you said it best, is that you have people blood, sweat, and tears set them records. You baseball is not changing it so nobody can reach babes. But when motherfuckers start reaching, getting close and shit, now you want to change some more shit. You want to hurry the brother up in the box.
I like that. Shit, I like it. Get your ass in here.
It's like,
get in here and get ready for this heat. I'm finna throw your ass, meat.
They serve their purposes. But the point I'm making is that you changing a lot of the game for no reason. Your numbers are not going up. And like you said, ESPN, analytics, and all of them went in there trying to change shit. Look, that shit backfire. Everything they do is backfire. So all that shit is watered down. To me, anybody that's breaking records and setting records now, you can't compare to other guys back then.
Analytics is another word for cats that ain't never balled, judging cats that play ball. That's all that is, man.
One of the biggest points I've always made with advanced stats that ticks me off about it is that if this is all we need to determine who's the better player, then what's the point of watching the game at that point? That means you can just read this and just say, like, oh, he's better than him because he has a better value over replacement, or he has a better what's that spit called? win something percent, win shares. He has a better win shares, or like spit like
See
that.
what I'm saying? That
he has
shit
a better
is dumb.
assist percentage, but you know what I'm saying? It's like we don't even look at the box score no more.
That
and
shit
these
is
are the
dumb,
people
man.
who,
That shit is dumb.
because if I'm not mistaken, when they have those votes, it's like 100 something people, you know what I'm saying, that they got. And if I'm, most of it seems like it's like the media. They need to take
non-ballers.
They need to take like 60 to 70% of that completely off. And I feel like ex-players and coaches and people who was around the game, that's who should be voting at this point. Because they're not gonna go off of all of that spit. They're gonna use the numbers or whatever criteria it is. But like you said, it's gonna be niggas that didn't hooped or that didn't been around the game. Like a nigga like Popovich can get a vote to me. He can get a vote, and he never hooped. So it's not even about who, if he was even on the court or not. It's you got these people who are narrative ridden right now, and they're sitting here writing
too much of that.
The NBA story,
much of that.
And it's, to me, it's disgusting.
It is disgusting. It is. It needs to stop. Now listen, baseball is different, bro, because you get a certain amount of at bats. Then from your at bats, you get a certain amount of successful hits. So you can do that numbers thing in baseball. You can say, okay, man, you had this many at bats, and you got this many singles, this many doubles, that many triples, this many home runs. You walk that many times. We can say that.
Yeah, that's individual.
Combine your hits with your walks, we can say the percentage of time that you get on base. That's true. That shit is real. Now, once you get out of baseball, football is not like that, bro. Football can't be broke down into like no number situation, man. That shit is talent eval, getting them dudes in there on that squat rack and seeing if they flexible or whatnot and strong, transitional speed to power type guys who are good at that. And in basketball, man, outside of, points, rebounding, assist, field goal percentage, and then field goal percentage should be broke down positionally, because of course the guards aren't going to have as good a field goal position as the big guys. I mean, that's how it should be, even though you got big guys shooting threes now.
That's typically what it is. Which is what I always try to tell people when they try to criticize Kobe's field goal percentage and use certain people. Is like, if this person is around the rim most of the time, of course they're gonna have a much better field goal percentage. They're not taking as many jump shots.
Yeah, Kareem
they'll try to bring up like, he got
a better field goal percentage than Kobe and Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they'll try to bring up like most missed shots in NBA history. I'm like, the fact that y'all don't even realize what a compliment you giving him. The fact that man has the most missed shots in NBA history and he shoots nearly 45% for his career, that's actually really damn good. Yeah. And that's including them last few years where he was effed up and hurt and just jacking up everything, shooting 30% a game at that time.
And that's how many of them was just pass it to him at the end of the clock and stand around shots?
And them first couple years. Them too.
Yeah. So, all that other stuff I don't need, man. All that the ratios. We just could sit back and watch the game after that, bro. I miss the days of, getting the newspaper and firing that thing open to see who shot it the most last night.
Right.
Back when I was in high school, just to go back a little bit, I want to say Clyde Drexler has the biggest percentage of, when I used to fire that newspaper open in Mr. Malachi class. Shout out to Mr. Malachi, my geometry teacher. I seen him on the elevator in Vegas, by the way, one time. Anyway, when I fired my paper open to see who shot it the most ratio of times was Clyde Drexler, man. He used to shoot that thing 25, 30 times a night, every night.
And when you in that position, you're supposed to.
Yeah. He was outgunning Alex English, Mike. Lakes didn't really have no guns back then because they had Magic, so everybody got to touch the rock. But all of the guns, Adrian Dantley, it was some guns in the league. George Gervin, Drexler, man. Drexler used to have some attempts.
Just a warning to the NBA. You keep up with this bullshit, you are going to lose your people. And as you can see from the numbers, you already are. Like right now, I seem like the one with the crazy takes because I don't fall into all that super numbers and advanced stat stuff. And that's what I want my representation to be right now. I'll take the lumps and bruises for that. But if they keep this up, they're gonna be hanging on one leg just like baseball was the last 2-3 years that they was talking about this with. You finna be in the same boat.
Yeah. And I was looking at some historic basketball literature, and you know what, man? The whole concept of the big three and the super team and this and that, man, they really been doing that, bro.
Nah.
Man, look.
What you referring to? What you referring to?
Okay, so I think about the Lakers. The Lakers that couldn't beat Boston. Right? Jerry West now.
Mm-hmm.
So they had Elgin. They had Jerry. They had a couple more guys, bro, that was considered guys at the time. But they kept getting to the ultimate game and couldn't get by Boston. So they ended up getting Wilt. And they still had all them dudes. Yeah.
But wasn't Jerry drafted?
Elgin was older. Yes, these guys were all drafted. Yeah. Except for Wilt when Wilt came.
Except Wilt. So I mean
And then look, Kareem, then you go to the Showtime Lakers. Now they got Kareem, right?
Well, they wasn't Showtime when he got there.
Okay. They got Kareem though now.
And they drafted
point guard. Irv, right?
Uh-huh.
They prayed for Jamal Wilkes before Irv came. So they had Kareem, they traded for Jamal Wilkes, then they draft Irv, then they get fucking Bob McAdoo, and then Worthy the next year after that.
So what made them shift Norm?
They kind of had a power struggle on the, who was gonna run that thing up at the top.
You're talking about teams loading up with good players versus how these niggas is doing now, just straight top 5 or 10 superstars together. Not from a draft, but that
you did that back then.
Are they really superstars?
Yeah, you couldn't. You're right. You couldn't do that. But
are they really superstars? I mean, Kevin Durant, what he did with Golden State, okay, that was obvious. You largely looked at as probably the best player going right now, and these dudes just won 73 ball games.
And so was Steph.
And they won 73 ball games.
Hey, the same day we started that superstar shit with Moses.
There's another example. All right, they had Andrew Toney. They had Doc. They had Bobby Jones, Caldwell Jones. They had guys. They couldn't get over the hump against the Lakers. What they go do? They kept all of them guys and went and got Moses Malone. I mean, they've been doing it, bro. This shit has been happening in the league for years. The only difference is the players is kind of doing it now. And I think that's the little, it might even got to do with the viewership. I think, then people kind of resent the fact that these young brothers is out here dictating basically the league and who gonna be sweet and who gonna be trash. You know what I'm saying? And
what's that word?
The people
dictate.
Yeah.
We start to get any kind of power going, swinging that bat our way.
Exactly. Man. And I think that's where some of the sentiment of not watching and shit is coming from, is because they would be okay if all of those execs were putting together these teams. But when you got players, hooking up in the Olympics and saying, okay, bruh, in 2 years, this what we gonna do. Oh yeah, and we also y'all come over here and sign with Rich Paul. You see what I'm saying? It's starting to be too much for him.
I would. You know? All right, I got something that I can put a screw in there real quick. So
go ahead.
I would hear you out on that, but here's where the problem lies. From my generation, and even probably the generation above me, we didn't see that until that Bron and Wade split. We didn't witness that. Chicago didn't do that split.
You witnessed it with
that split. Spurs didn't do that split. Lakers didn't do that split. Kobe was practically drafted, and you said what?
Lakers did Carmelo, Gary Payton, all them
niggas was old.
It don't matter. It's the same.
That's what the difference is, though.
That's like Kevin Durant.
When you're dead smack in your prime and you team up, that was like an unwritten rule, at least for the last 30-some years.
I'm gonna hit you with that thing I hit you with earlier, right? About the homes and the daddies. See, back then, niggas wanted to stand on their own as men. Now these emotional guys want to team up to win. No one wants, look, you know who I got the most respect for? That dude in Portland, Dame Lillard. The boy CJ McCollum said, I have the most respect for Dame because he said he ain't going to build no team. He gonna stay right there and gut it out.
And he and you know what the sad part about that is though? So with Dame, right? Like he just had the 70-point game, all that split the other day, right? And when people talk about his legacy or like we compare him to other people, what's the first thing they gonna say? Oh, well, he never got one. He never won.
Okay, so now
then if he go turn
that's the
around,
other side of that coin. That's the other side of that coin because these kids is getting judged by that. That's why they running off.
And then that's what I'm saying. If he turn around and go say, well, F it, I'm finna go over here on Milwaukee with Giannis and them. Oh, then now it's a problem. Yeah. So it's like y'all got to make up your mind. You gonna clown a nigga for not getting the ring?
Exactly.
You can't do it by yourself. We've seen that. Nobody does it by themselves.
Like they try to break
the team up and then all of a sudden, like, oh, you know what I'm saying, your ring don't count, or you got an asterisk and all of that. That's when all of that's gonna come in.
Hey, Chris Paul and Cole. They told Cole, no, you can't go.
Yeah, they didn't even let CP come over to LA because Stern tried to say that. Rest in peace, Stern. But Stern tried to say, that was too much. Like that wasn't good for the league to allow Chris to go to the Lakers. That package wasn't good.
Stern
we was finna give up Gasol though, who just got us our back-to-backs in the first damn place, and Lamar Odom.
Stern with the dictator.
And y'all took Eric Gordon, and that was equivalent though. That was good for the league for y'all to get Eric Gordon, and and who else? I don't even remember who else got shipped at that time. I think like Randy Foye or no, Randy Foye was still over. That was supposed to be the replacement. It was Randy Foye.
Hey man, it's been a pleasure, man. I gotta get up out of here.
Oh yeah, you all good. We finna wrap it up. Just talk about these last few signings.
Okay.
All good. All right, my brother. Thanks for dropping in.
All right, appreciate you, OG.
No doubt. Thanks for having me.
All right, so it's cool. It's cool he brought that Dame thing up because I was gonna bring him up anyway. Yeah. But we can get to the signings, man. What's your thoughts on your boy Carr, man, heading over to New Orleans?
You know, man, even though I knew he was already gone, and all that, it's still
end of air.
When they start with all of the little, putting him in the Saints uniform and all that, and the word officially came down. Because the dude was it Rappaport? Whoever did it was somebody before Schefter, though. He called him David Carr. So, and then it was anyway, whoever the dude was. He put David Carr. So I was like, is this real? And then one of my guys hit me back like, yeah, man, it's real. It's going to be a 4-year deal. Even before they said it was a 4-year deal because my guy is a little bit of an insider. So
right.
Hearing that news, I was like, damn, I kind of felt a certain kind of way. Like they got my guy. But yeah, man, he goes over to the guy.
And it probably sank in at the fact that you officially don't have a quarterback right now. And you haven't felt this in a while, huh?
9 years. So those guys, Dennis Allen and them drafted him when he was the coach here at the Raiders. So that kind of makes sense that he would go full circle and go back with him as a guy that believed in him. So
right.
And then the South isn't really strong in the quarterback.
It's a bad division right now.
Yeah, so I think it's a good look for him. Saints are pretty tough. I wish him well.
And that's why I'm shocked that apparently Atlanta is out on Lamar now because of that franchise tag. Apparently. And with how bad that division is, I would think they would be trying to put all the marbles out to go grab him. Because they got a solid team. They need a quarterback.
Yeah, the Lamar thing is
whole another story.
Yeah, it's real layered and it's sad, quite honestly, man. It just shows you in my opinion, man, it shows you how much of just like a product those guys are, bro. They like barely even human beings to them people, man.
I can only imagine the conversations that have been had about Deshaun Watson between them owners the past year. Man, I can only imagine the type of spit that they saying.
The back room off the record with the cigar and the scotch. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The hard ERs.
All of that, man. All of that. Because I know they are so like even some of these comments I've been reading just from some of the fans that, have those viewpoints. Like it's like usually it's like, okay, you reset the market, we move on. No, they're trying to say he reset the market, we trying to set it back. And I've never seen that before. They're trying to make an example out of that. Like, no, Lamar, you're not going to start there. And we want to send a message to all you other QBs. We're not starting there. But meanwhile, we're going to give Daniel Jones $160 and Derek Carr damn near the same thing.
Yeah.
But a league MVP is fighting for 2-something.
Yeah, 150 for Carr, 4 years.
What is we talking about? You gave Daniel Jones. Hold on, let's stop there. You gave Daniel Jones $160.
Carr is definitely.
You gave Geno Smith
35 a year.
You gave Geno Smith $140, and this nigga been irrelevant the past 10 years outside of last year. He has one good comeback year, and y'all give him $140, and Lamar is fighting like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even everybody, what Tyrann Mathieu said earlier. He said, I don't think I've ever recalled a league MVP being disrespected like this.
Yeah, that is what he said. A couple other guys chimed in too on it. Like, just it's ironic that, everybody's out on him, like publicly. Like they, it's like they're making a point to come out and say, oh no, yeah, we're not interested. And your quarterback, some of them don't have a quarterback at all, and some of them got a garbage queue.
Them niggas think they slick. Look, Lamar Jackson this is the report. They franchise tagged him. I forgot what it's called, a non-something tag. Non-exclusive tag, right? Which means he could go test out his market. And the supplement is supposed to be between what they give him and what the Ravens are willing to give him. So, obviously with the tag, if they decide that they want to, give you $50 a year or whatever it is that you're asking for, they can either match that or take 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody stupid. Y'all niggas been talking to these other owners, and y'all all have an issue with this. So why would y'all give him, like, why would one of the owners give him that? So then he can come back and be like, well, damn, nobody wanted to offer me that. But
so it's collusion. It's collusion. But when you got, DeMaurice Smith in there, that is basically, he hasn't been good at his job, in my opinion. They've made a couple of bad decisions, kind of landmark type stuff too, since this guy has been a player association president. And it's almost to the point like he's in. He got like a deal with Roger now, with some of the decisions that these players.
But everybody was mad at. But everybody was mad at Eric Reed when he was calling that out.
Right. Come on, man. It's been. I'm not even gonna get all into it because we getting near the end of the show. But there's been some bad choices for the players. They gave up a lot for those little practices and shit, man, that they gained. They also gave up money in the rookie deal years ago. Mm-hmm. And now they're using that rookie deal against guys, especially running backs. You know what I'm saying? They totally basically took them
running backs is they're trying to get it to a point to where like it's they're trying. This is what they're trying to get it to. It's stupidity to pay a running back at this point.
Yeah,
that's what they wanted to be.
I heard. Hey, Jay, I heard basically that worded. I read something that was basically worded just like that, bro. And this is just like a regular, one of those guys I was talking about earlier that just watch the games and think they can sit back and comment. This was on one of them type of cats account saying, "Oh yeah, he was speaking on Josh Jacobs' situation," but then they should make a rule where if you play running back, then you're the one position where you're eligible to make a little bit more money up front.
Yep, exactly.
Because it's flat out unfair. These guys, they play a position where you got to be able to do everything. The running back is the one position, man, where you're going to have some full-fledged blocking responsibilities. You're going to have to get the football and tote it. You're going to have to run patterns and catch the football. You got to do it all. And you want to put the least amount of value on this guy. And you got really the least amount of protection. Well, you got the line blocking, but you got guys running full speed at you while you're running at them. The quarterback, he's kind of, back and they put
draw back and see.
Around him. You feel me? The running back is running at these other guys. So yeah, it's kind of disgusting, man. It's right up there with how we feel about the whole NBA MVP thing. It's kind of disgusting, man. How they treat running backs.
And y'all excuse me, this is going to be a really wild analogy, so that's my disclaimer. But like in the porn industry, so the difference with women and men, right? It's not like a thing where they pay men less because it should be a fun job for a man. The real reason they pay men less is because we have a longer lifespan, right? So a man is going to be able to do this spit probably 20 years, and people could probably care less how he looks, all that spit. Versus with a woman, she doesn't have that long of a lifespan. Usually younger is better. So they pay women more because of all of those reasons in that industry, because they have a less lifespan. So I was saying that to say like of how I agree with.
I got you.
As far as like, yeah, you should pay these running backs.
I was wondering how you was gonna bring that home.
Yeah, like they should pay because of that, and the fact that they take so much of a beating, probably more so than anybody in that little time. You should pay them more if you're gonna act like that when it's time to pay them for real, to where we would, maybe we don't have this conversation as much, because you still treating them the same as everybody with these rookie deals when they're giving you the most value, and then by the time you tag these guys out until they pretty much damage goods, and then
just think there's not a lot of all right, let's just break it down. Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Leonard Fournette, Derrick Henry, perhaps. Other than guys like that, they're not even drafting them in the first round. So the rookie money is even that much less. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So then when they come off that short money, they immediately looking to draft somebody else. in a lower round, it's disgusting, bro. It's disgusting. That should be changed. That should be something that
The
the
association.
NFLPA should lobby about.
Yeah. They need to holler about that for sure.
What about the CTE risk for the running back position?
And then, yeah, exactly. And then it's like they want to act like that position has, such a lack of importance, but taking away the fact that if you ain't got no run game, Mahomes ain't doing all that spit. Rodgers ain't doing all that spit. Brady ain't doing all that spit. They're not, I don't care how great these guys are, they're not doing all of that without a run game. Period.
Right.
So
and it's got to be balanced in there. You know what I mean? When you're playing good, they're worried about the run, and that's why the play action is working and the bootlegs and all that shit is working because the run is actually a threat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's disgusting, man. They need to look at that. You even got like regular people. What's disgusting? Regular people talking about these men. Like, oh yeah, he's a running back. Don't pay him. You work at Sizzler. What if somebody walked in and said, "Oh man, all he do is he the cashier, man. Don't pay him no money, man. Get a cook the money." You know what I'm saying? You got regular.
And in that case, man, I'm wholeheartedly with you. Like the talk you was having last time. Definitely in that instance, in that context, yeah, for sure. That's like, come on, bro. Like you need to get slapped for that.
Man, come on now. And remember, I talked about the players' money not even being in the public. Remember, I've said that before.
You did. I ain't gonna lie. I've been kind of pondering on it, even though I do slightly disagree. But I get what your point is and the premises behind it, though.
Yeah, I think all that shit.
The only reason I disagree is because, like, as fans and speculating on the sport. That's how we know, okay, well, this needs to get, moved out here. So maybe we can get this player or whatever. And that's why I was saying, like, maybe they can just take out the dollar amount and use something in replacement to help us follow it or something. Maybe you can do that.
Yeah. Or just say, hey, they figured it out and they were able to get him over there. And just keep the numbers. Now, I do understand.
They do that. Think about it. They do that in lawsuits sometimes. Like they came to an agreement, but we don't know the numbers.
They settled, right?
And
look, I'm feeling like all of those numbers could be like some like an inner office memo type of thing. So only the players, the owners, and the agents or whatever knows the numbers, because as an agent now, speaking on their bag, they want to
know. You need to know the market for your guy.
Yeah. So there is a need for the agents to know, well, how much is this dude making? Because my guy got more catches than you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that part, they do need it for that, but we don't need to know. We don't effing need to know,
man. Does Lamar play in Baltimore this season?
I'm thinking, yeah. I'm ready to see Lamar play more conventional style, the quarterback, and stop all of the pistol formations and the fake handoffs and the crossing routes with the tight end and all that. And just, open that thing up, man, and let him play.
He ain't there yet, man. He ain't there yet.
Well,
I'm not saying it's not in him, but he's not in that place yet to do that.
Let's see him get there then, man, because I saw him play in college and he did not play like Bobby Petrino did not run the pistol, bro. He was a pro-style coach, and he won a Heisman, and then the next year had even better numbers. They just gave the Heisman to somebody else. So he can do it, bro. It's just for some reason the NFL,
I'm saying he can do it. I just don't think he's in a place where he wants to do that right now. I think he wants to get it out of his system and then do it. Like when Vic was on the Eagles, Vic was on that type of time. And my personal opinion, and people kind of kill me for saying this, I honestly think that's the best complete version of Vic when he was on Philly. That wasn't the most electrifying and, probably as fun to watch as Atlanta Vic, but that was like the best version of it to me right there.
He did have some good years, a couple good years there in Philly.
Yeah, he definitely did, especially considering his circumstances. He was in jail for 2 years.
And that's what I'm saying with Lamar. It's that time now to go into that mode.
You think so?
Yes. Yes. Go into that mode and, just break it out when you have to. Let's get this guy going, man.
He's still one of the more accurate passers we have in the league, though. He's, consistently in that, 60 to 66 range. You know what I'm saying?
I think he plays in Baltimore. They didn't kind of collude.
So you don't think he sits out if they, if he don't find somewhere? Because it sounds like that's what they're doing. Like they're trying to make a point. So you don't think he sits out if he don't find nowhere?
I never even considered him sitting out. I never considered him sitting out.
I mean, remember that's what what's his name did?
I ain't heard him Le'Veon yet.
Yeah.
I haven't heard where his head is really lately to speak on that. So right now,
he want his money though. He's made that clear.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with he will play. Hopefully they can find some type of.
And just for the record, all you people talking about, oh, he need to get an agent. He need to get an agent. Man, cut the BS because an agent don't got nothing to do with what his issues are right now. Agent don't got nothing to do with that. When you a high profile, electrifying player like that, you don't need no damn agent. DeAndre Hopkins did not have an agent.
I had somebody telling me that today. I saw a post. I was like,
I seen people on Twitter
today. He has a phone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody know what the deal is at this point. So
he's not one of them players to where it's like, oh, we're trying to see what. Like, no, we know Lamar is a max player. In the discussion, ain't nothing to talk about. A nigga like that, he doesn't need an agent. He don't need to pay somebody else for that.
Right.
That has nothing to do. What they're doing is taking out the Deshaun Watson stuff with the Browns. They're taking it out on Lamar right now. That's what I feel like is going on.
I do too. So the Cleveland owners, relatively new owners, not necessarily a part of the crew yet, and they did what they did to try to improve their product. And then, so what you have are the rest of the good old boys of the NFL. They didn't came together on it, man. It looked like they didn't colluded.
One more question.
I don't think my owner would be a part of that, the owner of the Raiders, but I don't think the coach and them want to have Lamar. I was going to say something else.
I got
they don't want Lamar Jackson.
One last question. Does the NFL, in your opinion, have per se like a Mark Cuban type of guy who would be willing to take like that Kyrie gamble on Lamar?
No. I would think that I would say that's the Haslams in Cleveland. And
they already got a guy.
Yeah. The guys in Denver are the newest people, and they got themselves a guy just last year. The one place that's intriguing.
Well, do they? But they paid him already, though. But
they paid him. Yeah. Now, one thing that's intriguing is Mr. Tepper there in Carolina is relatively new. I think I know he had the team less than 10 years. He's only probably around like 5-7 years.
That's not a bad fit. That's not a bad fit at all.
So, he could it would have to be a newer owner, man. Because the other dudes that came together. I
wanted Atlanta so bad, man. I don't know. I wanted that Atlanta fit. I wanted them to get Watson or Lamar. I just like when I don't know. Like it seems like football is a little better when they cracking.
And they should have a black QB.
It's fitting. You know what I'm saying? It's fitting.
Atlanta. You feel me?
You gotta get you know what I'm saying? Matt Ryan wasn't really an Atlanta guy, but he did his thing when he was there though. But
I was hoping Deshaun had went to Atlanta for a minute there.
Yeah, but Atlanta, what was the issue? Fully guaranteed. That was the magic word. Whoever was fully guaranteed with what his number was, that was the winner. Yeah. And that was Cleveland.
Yeah. And I don't blame Cleveland either.
Yeah, you was big on that, man. So next year we're gonna see if you was right, and we're gonna see if I'm right in what I'm saying now. Because I remember you was trying to tell Gene and Tyrell and them, like, man, did y'all watch them games at Clemson? Like, y'all got a guy.
Man. And what I like about it is, JC, they paid a bunch of money, right? But he was just a free agent, right?
No. He requested a trade, and he had already got paid. He got paid like a year before the allegations and all of that.
When
and they had to like do like a retool of his contract once he signed there. I guess in football you can do that.
He was under contract with
the Texans still. Yeah, he had signed, if I'm not mistaken, 2020 when they traded for Hopkins. He had signed right after that. And then at the end of that season, the allegations came. He sat out that season, and then the next season, that's when he signed with the Browns. So he probably had like a couple years left.
Well, I don't know how he had it was so open that he was leaving. I thought he had played out his contract and was just free to sign with whoever at that point.
Nah, he at the end of the first season, and to be honest,
so what did the Texans get for him?
Some first round picks.
So this year they have first round. They have how many?
I don't remember the exact number, but they got a good amount of first round picks for him. I remember that for sure.
So my point is gonna be it's no problem paying a bunch of money, but you don't want to, pay money and give up 2 first round picks. Now that makes it tough. You know what I'm saying?
Again, and I don't know, maybe I'm on an island on my own with this take, but I just feel like when teams is in win now mode, and I don't know, it's probably, fitting for me to say this as a Rams fan, F them picks, man. Go after your guy. Go try to get it done. Like, what do you have to lose? You know what I'm saying? To keep being in that middle of the pack and hoping that, at some point somebody could, you have, especially in football, we was just talking about the win now mode being small in the NBA. It's even worse in football. Your win now is literally that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So whatever you need, you better get that ASAP and figure it out right at that moment. Because it's probably finna be bad anyway, and you're gonna be starting from square one. Why not at least attempt and try to get that guy? And then if it don't work, it don't work. And you know what I'm saying? You start from scratch and try it again. You wasn't gonna win anyway without getting that guy. So why not at least try? That's how I look at it.
So they only had to give a first round pick, 1 first rounder, or they got to give a pick next year too.
Yeah, I think it was a multiple year picks for sure, but I know it was more than 1 first round pick. So I don't know if it was both the same year, but I know they had multiple first round picks for him.
Because I see that they got
But he had 2 years left though, for sure.
They got the 12th pick and the number 2 pick this year.
Yeah,
Houston does.
That makes sense. Well, one of them I think is their pick, and the other one is probably the Browns.
Yeah, the 2 is theirs. Obviously, they was trying.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see this year what happens, man. But I'm rooting for Cleveland, man. I hope I love teams that take them chances, man. You know what I'm saying? I love when teams take that chance and go all in, and we see what happens. I don't like that scary spit. That's all that.
A first and a third this year. The third round is the number 74 overall.
Got you.
So these guys have 6 of the top 105 players in college football. If you draft right, man, that should be 6 good players.
That's a big if.
It shouldn't be.
Y'all got some good amount of picks this year too. We'll see how y'all do.
Yeah, these guys haven't.
Yeah, I know Isaiah was telling me in the chat the other day. He was telling me because I tried to like pump him up, like, man, look how many picks y'all got. He was like, man, we can't draft for Smith. Like he wasn't even worried about it.
Pick of the first 150. Yeah, that's not bad. Them should be good players. Those should be good players. Shit. This particular shit got us getting Anthony Richardson, but guess we'll see about all that.
Yeah, got that coming up soon as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and get up out of here, man, and go check out these lakes, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate the OG Rico for pulling up, man. Thank you to everybody who's been checking us out and continues to keep us going. You can check us out on all major directories for Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Pandora. Just type in All Grind Sports Show and we will pull up. Episode 47 is in the books. And see y'all next week, man. Peace.
Go Dodgers.
Go Lakers. Go Rams. Go Dodgers.